Hi, I'm Graham Lasso, and you're listening to Eat, Sleep, Chelsea, Repeat with Chris, Craig, and Brady.
Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat. Eat, sleep, Chelsea, repeat.
Welcome to the Eat, Sleep, Chelsea, Repeat pod. Headline this week, Chelsea's December Blues return again. I'm Chris, and today I am joined by my brother Craig and our good friend Brady. How are we feeling, guys? You popped open your Advent calendars?
Yeah, a few days in. I have to share mine these days, but so I don't get to eat a whole chocolate by myself. And yeah, massive point yesterday at Bournemouth. Buzzing.
Just awakened from my winter hibernation from our attacking performance yesterday. But other than that, yeah, all good.
Yeah, it's 1 point in the last out of 9 for Chelsea in the last 3 Premier League games, so not the best. We'll have a look. Obviously, the last game was yesterday.
Isn't
out
it
of
2
those
points
three.
in 9?
Yeah,
2 points in 9. Apologies, yeah, 2 points in 9.
Technically beat Arsenal, didn't we?
Maresca said we beat him in his presser.
It's 2, but it's basically justice 4, we'll call it.
Yeah. Okay, so yesterday, looking at the Bournemouth game, 0.8 expected goals for Chelsea versus 1.3 for Bournemouth. That game finished 0-0. The midweek game at Leeds, we'll try and remove from our memory, but that finished Leeds 3, Chelsea 1 as well. Look at the game yesterday, so 60% possession for Chelsea, 82% pass accuracy, 4 shots on target out of 11, and 5 out of 5 saves for Sanchez. Craig, I'll come to you first. Likes and dislikes for this bumper pod.
Well, I'm going to do likes first to continue my positivity after, solid point, as I mentioned earlier. But Fofana and Chalobah as a centre-back partnership. When was the last time they conceded a goal this season with 11 men on the pitch? Fofana and Chalobah together.
With 11 men. Is that because Chalobah was sent off against Brighton?
They didn't start together against Brighton. No answers.
No, I don't remember.
They have never conceded a goal with 11 men as a partnership.
That's what I didn't know.
So they started together. That's Tottenham away, Wolves at home, Barcelona at home, Arsenal at home. Obviously, they conceded a goal in the second half together, but playing with 10 men. And Bournemouth away. So that's 5 clean sheets in a row for them as a centre-back duo. And I think they're really well balanced.
With 11 men.
With 11 men, yeah. So one goal conceded in 5 games to Arsenal. But yeah, I think fantastic. I think they've been brilliant together. I think they complement each other really well. I know yesterday they sort of had one big chance, Bournemouth, in the game. But apart from that, outside of that big chance, they only can create a 0.4 XG in the game. I think we found our duo, really, that I think we can build on for the season. I think we've seen them up against good teams like Barcelona and Arsenal. We've seen them up against slightly worse teams like Wolves and, well, can we call Tottenham away an easy game? Maybe we can, but I think they work well together and really happy with them both.
Yeah, Craig actually stole my like as well. I had the same. So, and I can't really add to anything he said, so because he kind of covered it. But yeah, they've been really good. I mean, just generally when Fofana's in the team, I'm a lot more confident. And I do wonder if he will start Atalanta or Everton, because they're both massive games. We really need to win that Everton game, the way we've been starting in the league. The only other I would have is, this is kind of a more macro thing, Chelsea are still going to be 4th, unless Palace win at Fulham, which if Palace win at Fulham, we'll go to 5th. But we're still going to be at least top 5 after this pretty awful run of awful results-based week, really. 2 points out of 9. So it just shows that, if you've accumulated points before, we've only lost 2 in 14 in all comps. So if we can just not turn it into another Maresca mid-season slump, that'd be good.
Yeah, the difficult games keep coming, unfortunately. And we will see Bournemouth again really soon. We're actually playing them again this month in the Premier League, if you can believe that. It's crazy.
New Year's Eve, the 30th.
Yeah. Like for me, very similar. I think it's definitely the defensive partnerships. But I sort of caveat that with just the defensive players Obviously, Chalobah played in that Leeds game at right back for some reason. But I think generally when we have our first 11 defensively, I do feel like we're really strong. And I include kind of Caicedo in that as well, kind of ahead of them, doing all the dirty work. So yeah, I think defensively, when everyone's fit and raring to go and can play, I think it's always looking very good. Beyond that, it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's a good place to be. At least is we feel like the players that are there are fairly solid when they're fit. Dislikes.
Well, it's become a trend for Maresca, I think, a little bit with sort of a little bit of a dip in the middle of the season. So I'm preempting a dislike, but we're not quite at that yet, because really, one defeat against Leeds is that's where we're at. But it is a concern going forward, because we've got some tougher games and we've got games coming thick and fast, and that is one of the things I think that the squad might struggle with right now, just with the way it is, really missing Caicedo. Obviously, luckily Caicedo is back midweek against Atalanta, so he'll be able to play in that game, which is easy to forget. But we will still miss him against Everton. That's the third game of his suspension. Obviously, him and Cole are clearly our two best players. So yeah.
My one is, it seems to be a lot of players, maybe like an Esteval, that are just really turning it on in the Champions League and not in the league. There's just a lot of players who the attack seems a lot more fluid in the Champions League. I mean, last time we played Neto in the 9 against Barcelona, we were like really, obviously they're 10 men, but it just seems like, Maresca said Esteval 18 at Leeds going to be, I mean, obviously, he's going to find it quite tough, but there's a lot of players who just, like Gittins as well. I mean, he's doing okay, Gittins, but there's still a lot of players that are finding it tough to kind of dig out results on a cold, wet Tuesday night. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think we'll probably play quite well against Atalanta because we've got the Champions League music and all that. It's just, is this young team going to be able to dig out results in the league, when it's winter and, short days and you're getting bumped about and 3 days rest? I just don't know. We still just seem very inconsistent in the league. We just seem still like a bit of a cup team where probably get 4th or 5th in the league, but the consistency in the league is just not there. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, I think sort of carrying on from that, I've always made comparisons for this team to sort of Arsene Wenger Arsenal team, and there's always a huge criticism of them was when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Nice when you're playing Burnley and Wolves and some of the teams where the manager's about to be sacked, but yeah, I think when you go into hostile environments, games are coming thick and fast and they're really competitive against teams that are well coached. I think we're seeing a lot of poor performances coming out of this team, and that stems all the way back through last season when you look at the away form against the top 10. Again, this season, a lot of good results against teams who are basically struggling. Anyone who's in any sort of form, the results haven't been good. And, worry about Chelsea in this period because Everton are a good team. Newcastle coming into a little bit. They've got Visser coming back now for them, who hasn't kicked a ball much. I think he's been injured, isn't he? And obviously got City coming up, Bournemouth. This team needs to get all their players fit and have them out for these games, because I genuinely think that's the only way we're really going to compete with these teams with our first 11. I think when we start dipping into the squad, it's not looking too clever half the time.
Is that not the case for most teams?
I don't think so. I think, even when you look at some of the team, well, it depends what your objective is, obviously. I think we've got to look at this team for a team that's going to try and be pushing Arsenal to, we're trying to get more points than we did last season. I think when you look at this team now, I think it's going to be the same, or it's going to be around the same amount of points. And, the idea in the summer was they threw a lot of the players out and invested to try and improve it. And I don't think we can say that it's that much better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know my opinion on points totals. That's not really a good way, I don't think, of evaluating success. So the league's different every year. I think the points total for the winner this year will be way lower than what it has been over the last sort of 5 years. And that's just a consequence of sort of where the Premier League is right now, I think. But yeah,
But I think the context then would suggest that Chelsea should have less points than they did last season if you go down that road, because I don't think they're as good as. I genuinely think they're slightly worse than they were last season, squad-wise.
I think that Chelsea have well established themselves now as better than the competing pack. I think Gary Neville talked about this a couple of weeks ago on Sky, where they're better than the Villas, the Newcastles, the Spurs, the Man Uniteds.
I think you're going to see that. I think with the way that the fixtures fell, that will just catch back up with them. I think once 19 games goes at the end of this month, when we play City, I'd be surprised if we were not on slightly less points than some of those teams.
Yeah, I'm talking about at the end of the season, not at certain like milestones during the season. But yeah,
well, halfway point, you've played everyone, haven't you? Once. If you look at it like at the beginning of, I think, end of November, we played a lot of the teams in the bottom half who were there. I don't think the teams in the bottom half are going to change. Obviously, these are really bad results because I think Leeds and Bournemouth will be bottom half teams at the end of the season.
Just a couple of things on points. Points do matter. I mean, like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of teams taking points off each other. And, you know, like, I don't really care what Gary Neville says. Gary Neville is not watching Chelsea games, to be honest. I mean, he's watching them when he's watching them for Sky. He's not like, he's just commenting on result to result. Like, we got 69 last year and for 63. That isn't good. Like, I think a lot of it is the World Cup hangover. I did expect the first half of the season to be tricky. So I'm not really massively worried. But I think it will be disappointing as a club if we don't get above 70 points this year. I think whether you're thinking about a lower league total or not, like this team and the investment and the talent we have, we should be getting 70 points in this league at a minimum, I think. And you might disagree with that, but that for me is the basics. I mean, I think that always goes, because 70 points will get you top four most of the time in any 70, 75. Even in a really competitive league where the top four are getting a lot of points, will always get you top four. That's got to be the benchmark, kind of the standard. Kind of accept, 65's all right, 60, it's not good enough, really. This team needs to kick on a bit now.
I guess just the overarching point I'm making is like 2 years ago, obviously City won the league with 91 points and Arsenal was second with 89. With 89. So just let me finish the point. Arsenal was second with 89. City finished with 3 losses in the season. And I don't think any team's going to come anywhere near that total this year.
I agree with that.
That just shows the sort of the compactness of the table. And obviously, if you take the points out of that, that's inflating the other team's points. You know, they have to go somewhere. Someone's got to win the points. So
I agree, but like I think if we get less points than last season, I don't think that's a great look. And I don't think the board
it isn't from just a points total point of view, but obviously that the context that I'm applying to it.
It massively depends as well. If we have a massive Champions League run or we win the FA Cup, stuff like that.
Also, just I think me and Chris had this discussion earlier this week. I think the eye test matters for me. Like I go and watch the games. I'm not.
The eye test is not good at the moment, is it? The last 2 games, is it?
No, but it is. It has been good this season. I think when you look at our season over, and it's obviously easy just to think about the last 2 games, but I think going back to the season as a whole and going back to sort of going back as far as Spurs to start the season. Look at where we started the season, obviously against Palace as well.
The Spurs game was the 1st of November. Like if you go back to the beginning of the season, it was Palace draw. We beat West Ham 5-1. I mean that doesn't mean much, does it? Fulham was a good result, I think, at home 2-0. Brentford away 2-2. United away.
Very unlucky in that game.
Yeah, these are all said the same thing last season. Brighton away, Brighton at home, loss.
I will say that
just to start October as well, we started obviously win against Liverpool 2-1, win 3-0
and then we followed up with the loss to
Ajax 5-1, and then obviously lost to 94th minute winner from Sunderland. But that game in general was pretty average.
When you look at the eye test for me is that Tottenham game was a really good example of this team isn't at that level where it can put these teams away. That was a nervy finish to that game, and they weren't very good. Let's be honest.
It wasn't a nervy finish.
Even the first half against Wolves, they were booed off at Wolves from the crowd.
I don't think that I'm reading much into that either. Obviously, as my opinion, and the levels from where we were last year to this year have been much improved. overall. And that's obviously, we can talk about individual results and getting booed off at halftime. Anytime we're drawing 0-0 with bottom of the league that's got 2 points, maybe you're going to get some boos from the crowd. And remember as well, it only takes a few hundred people to boo to make it sound like there's boos. I know obviously you were in the ground that day, you didn't boo, and I'd imagine that no one around me in the shed. Yeah, I mean, so, and yeah, I do think that the eye test matters, and everyone's not going to agree on everything, but I do think overall this team looks much progressed from last year. And you're probably going to forget as well, Maresca's first season, we've come a long way from that. Look back at the performances and the results to start that season, the middle of the season under Maresca especially. I don't think you'll see the team capitulate like that this season.
I do think the team are a bit of a crossroads, because I think in the Maresca, at the back of his mind, I'm thinking, here we go again. Because he had it at Leicester. Leicester were flying. It is a trend. I mean, if it happens again, it is a trend. Maresca, for some reason, these teams bottom out in the middle of the season, like kind of valley. There's a start well and then bottom out and then rise at the end. I do think the team are a bit of a crossroads. I don't think, I was bantering a bit that we might win the league and all that sort of thing. But if we're going to be, comfortably top 3 or top 4, or, something like that, the team's got to start getting results, really. You can't. There's so many teams like Brighton this year, Palace, loads of teams, Newcastle, maybe Tottenham. Probably Tottenham won't, but there's some teams who improve. If you slip a bit, there's so many teams ready to take that 4th or 5th place. I mean, you assume Liverpool will improve, so it's just a bit of a crossroads for the team. I can see us maybe going to the Champions League run because Maresca can coach a 1-game or a 2-game sample really well, but. I think we need to try and aim for 70, 75 points. I mean, we're not going to get 80 points this season. No way. That was at the start of the season. We're not going to get that. But that was a prediction by a lot of the Chelsea in the nose.
Well, so I think if we get 80 points, we might win the league this year with this league.
But we're not going to get 80 points. So it's just...
That's what I mean. But
it's just you need to see a bit of an uptick. Leeds was... I mean, we won't talk about Leeds in depth, but Leeds was just not good enough on a lot of levels. And so those performances just can't happen anymore, I think. You can't just essentially just write a game off, which is what happened there. So, yeah, I have to see some improvement. It is a bit of a crossroad for this team and Maresca, because remember, for Maresca, it was going to be a 2-year thing with him. He has 2 years, and then his position is assessed. Now, I'm not saying his position will be in trouble, but if he finished 6th this year and we didn't have a good Champions League run, I don't think they would sack him, to be honest. I think they would back him. But it is review time at the end of the year for him. And for last year, it wasn't because of the Club World Cup. They were never going to review his position because they were never going to get another manager with a Club World Cup summer. So he needs to show something in the league, really. He needs to show some consistency and improvement, I think.
If you look at the last bit on this, if you look at the comparison with the past seasons, so go back all the way back to 2010, we are well behind points-wise in a lot of those seasons comparatively. The only ones we're up against, and you can look back to maybe the worst one, you'd think back to Potter, we're only 1 point. We've got one more point than we did in that season.
The league is, again, I would say don't want to rehash this. The league is completely different.
I know the league's different, but,
Do you, though? Because you're comparing 5 years ago to now, or 4 years ago.
Well, 4 years ago is not, I'm looking at the team, but the team are very similar. The core of the team is what they've trying to been built up. We've got 6 points less than we did last season at this point.
Well, it's not the same as the Potter season. It's completely different, isn't it? It's not one same player, is there?
Pochettino, we had 6 points more than we did. So,
yeah, but Pochettino just...
But you don't want to compare it, but this is supposed to be a better team than those teams.
It's a good example as to why the eye test matters. Because if you're just looking at that, you'll be like, oh, it's the same as the Potter season.
I do
if you're
think
turning up and watching the games, then
I'm not saying it's better than that. I'm saying is this team in this league is slightly worse than Potter's team in that league at this point.
In terms of points, and not in terms of performance.
You have to remember that Potter had a very good start, then he completely capitulated. And Tuchel got 10 of those points, by the way.
Yeah. He did,
So... I'm not having Graham Potter or revisionism.
I'm not saying Graham Potter should be reinstated. I'm saying that this hasn't been a good start. The eye test isn't good. I think I think you're saying the eye test is good. I'd actually say the opposite.
Okay, well that's the difference of opinion.
I think we'll look more organised.
We'll see who ends up being correct on that.
This is self-inflicted wounds, but if we can keep 10 men on the pitch for the next 23 games, that should also help the points total. Because I think we would have won that Brighton game. We were cruising, and I think United we can get a point at least. So that's like probably.
If you could go back in time now, would you say that you would talk to Caicedo to not get sent off against Arsenal?
Well,
it's not.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it? When he's not there.
That's not
It's
his fault
huge.
because it's not his fault that he's out and then suddenly there's.
But you said you don't mind him playing on the edge. Look at what's happened.
I don't mind him playing on the edge because Asugo should be fit and Lavia should keep himself fit rather than getting injured after playing 10 minutes. I mean, I'm not being funny. Like, that's squad composition, right? Like, if there's a massive, Alex Goldberg said actually really well. A lot of it is about when you're comparing positions. It's about drop off. It's not Caicedo's fault that Asugo isn't fit. Asugo looked pretty good in pre-season, but like when Caicedo's not fit or he's suspended, there's like a literally Everest level of drop off to his replacement. That's not his fault. That's the board's fault.
And Neto's obviously a good example of what he's playing really well this season, and he's been in great form. It's like leading RGA and stuff like that. But him getting injured wouldn't be a disaster for us just because we've got like decent backups in that position.
I disagree. I think that would be a real problem for us. Again, the drop off for the squad for me is quite big. There's large gaps. Large.
I think if you think the drop off from Neto to Esteval is massive, then I don't know what to
do. Wesley Fofana. You can't.
You really did you watch him against Leeds? Like, you must realise that you can't get away with doing that. It's fine playing him against some of the Champions League teams because they're actually a lot weaker. Like, who do we?
I'm not saying that he can't.
Benfica and
he's going to play well every week. I'm also watching Neto not play like outstanding every week as well. So
I'm not saying he's the best player. I'm saying the drop off is actually quite large. I don't think Neto would have been as bad as Esteval was on Wednesday night.
I think Neto's had.
I think the team will be really, really good in 2-3 years. I think, let's be honest, if we look at the squad will be good in 2-3 years for sure. Like, they'll be up there. But I think they can.
I think the squad's really good this year. I think you guys have like massively overreacted to.
I'm not overreacting. I'm just saying they've got a show.
Talking about Potter's season.
It's not about eye test and what Gary Neville says. What Gary says is completely irrelevant to Chelsea Football Club. It's like these pundits.
I completely agree with him. I think we've established.
He doesn't watch Chelsea because he's just bracketing Chelsea because he's not ready for Chelsea to be a top side.
But in the same way as he's not watching Chelsea as much as you are, he's watching the other teams way more than you are.
Wow.
I think the biggest thing that I think you guys don't realise in this conversation when we're talking about it is that
Gary Neville was still talking about Ben Chilwell last year and us missing him.
The other teams aren't as good as you think they are. That's what, like Chelsea, you think are like you're comparing them to sort of, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever. I don't know.
I'm not.
I'm just saying like the other teams are going to drop points.
Saying in a low scoring league, I play probably 85 points to win the league this year. I agree. That doesn't mean we can't get 75, does it?
Like Leeds away, like we just saw Liverpool go there. Like not every team's not going to go there and just like walk all over them. In the same way that like not everyone's going to go to Bournemouth and walk all over them.
2 points a game with our squad is a big ask in this league, to be frank.
I think it is. I think that would be that's title winning form. That is title winning form. And no one thought to start the season that Chelsea were going to win the title.
Points, Greg. How is that? When is that ever going to win a point?
Okay, but 2.1 points a game will win the title.
Okay, I'm not about 2.1 because there's a difference. Like, I think obviously if it's like 2.4, then you get into the 80s. I'm not talking about that. Like, there's a massive difference between 2 and 2.4 and 2.1.
Okay,
I'm 70 to 75 points, so a bit of an improvement on last year, even with the Club World Cup hangover, even with the Palmer injury. I think is not a massive ask for Chelsea fans.
We're not going to agree on this because I think, again, we've gone back to the points, which I don't agree with being just the barometer for improvement. So we'll just move on, I think.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the players then. Let's do temps.
Time to see whose form's on top, who's heating up, whose temperature's dropped, who's been playing well and who's not. It's freezing, warming up, boiling hot.
In the freezer this week is our good friend Liam Delap. What do we think of Liam?
You've got to take the floor because, yeah.
Well, you've got to be in your bonnet about Delap. Why don't you tell us what it is?
I'm going to start calling him Let's Scrap Delap because that's all he wants to do. I mean, he is genuinely playing the wrong sport, the geezer. Like, he's a rugby player. Like, Yeah, have you seen the clip from yesterday where he just tried to slap one of the players?
Yeah.
Like the ball's out and he just kicks him. That's not good. That's not like, oh, he's getting about. I actually, watching the Leeds game, he should have scored in that game. Just absolutely, like in the Leeds game, he's through on goal and absolute basics go across the goalkeeper, does it front post. He's through on goal, rather than use his left foot, tries to flick it with his right foot. Yesterday he did a pathetic shot. Now look, getting injured, dislocating your shoulder, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, Craig disagrees with this. I don't see him much different from Marguerite, I'll be honest. I think they're both young, both raw, got some potential. I don't see Liam Delap being a frontline number 9 for Chelsea in the future, to be honest. I think, obviously, he'll mature a bit, but I think he is what he is. And unless his finishing massively improves, you're still going to get the tetchiness and the yellows and the odd red, etc. So, and he's not that good in the air, which is what we need. He's not very good in the air at all. So, hold up's okay. But if you're ranking him on FIFA, he's just not that good, I don't think. And look, we got him for 30 million quid, and so from a business point of view, you can sell him for 40, no problem. But I think we need to go massive for 9. I would go for Osimhen or something, or someone of that level.
Osimhen is completely off the table, by the way.
Okay, whatever. All right. There'll be one that emerges. Whatever. There'll be one that emerges by May, who's the hottest one that everyone wants. We need to go and get him because the lad from Strasbourg, Emeg or whatever his name is. It just seems like another. It's not. I mean, it just seems like another. Strasbourg to Chelsea. He probably won't work.
To give you some context on that, obviously the ones to grab last summer were Gyökeres, who's been pretty poor for Arsenal. Tesco, who hasn't even played for United, and he's just got injured.
You're going to miss sometimes, and maybe
Isak was the other one.
Right. So you're saying Isak isn't a good player?
No, but I'm just saying, he's got the same amount of goals as Delap. I just don't.
If you compare Alexander, if you don't think Alexander Isak eventually is going to turn up for Liverpool,
I'm giving you examples. I'm just giving you examples of.
Stop defending that. Let's just say what we see. He looks rubbish. Let's say what we see here. I'm sorry, he's not. His end product is diabolical. I
don't
care about injuries.
Played over 60 minutes
he
looks this season.
Poor every game. Wolves poor. Leeds poor. Burnley poor. He got a tap in versus Barcelona. It was almost like a charity goal.
It was not. By the way, that is actually absolutely ridiculous take. That goal against Barcelona was brilliant. That was not a tap in any regard. That was absolutely brilliant goal.
He did one good finish against 10 men in all season.
Okay, well, to give
the
you
most
the
energy he's put into the game is getting sent off against.
I don't like to overreact to things too strongly. He's only ever played over 60 minutes once for us.
I'm sorry, Craig. It's just 9 is a massive problem. João Pedro's gone off the boil. So...
That was Benfica in the Club World Cup. This season, since the season started, the most minutes he's ever played in the match was 67. So he's not even played a full 90 for us.
I don't want him on the pitch more than an hour, man.
Well, I don't think you can judge players.
I don't want Delap playing 90s. I don't.
I mean, that's just a ridiculous.
We just picked up a geezer from Ipswich. Honestly, I think we picked up a guy from Ipswich whose hustle and bustle was cheap, good deal. It's almost like the guy.
That's not most people's take on Delap in the summer, by the way. I think most people thought.
I think we can see now. I think him and Garnacho very similar buyers. Good business deal, young, got good resale value. I don't see long term either of those players being Chelsea stalwarts. I'll put it that way.
Well, yesterday up front we had Delap and Garnacho, who between them are coming from Ipswich United, who were two teams who were in the bottom half last season. So
Prem proven.
Delap's proven he can score goals in the Premier League. Garnacho, I think, hasn't proven much.
Garnacho's got the most goals, I think, for under 21 ever in the Premier League, right?
Who else?
I'm talking about Prem proven. That's what I'm talking about.
I think you're getting confused with someone who's consistently delivering in the Prem versus someone who's
what difference you
in
see
the Premier League.
Genuinely, what difference is there between Delap and Guiu? What are you looking at? Delap is a lot better at. That's
physically, you can see a big difference. I think.
I don't see a big difference. Look at that guy. Look at that assist for Burnley for Guiu. He shoved him off. He went past him and done him.
I think that if you watch the Leeds game, Delap did that exact same thing.
Right. So they're the same.
No, but as in, like, you're saying that's something that you can do. That's something you can do that Delap can't.
I think the thing. All right, look, we got to move on from Delap, but I think his goals return is 0. I think at this point in the Premier League, so that isn't good for sure.
He hasn't played. He hasn't even played 90 minutes.
I know, but there are people who have played.
He's been out for 2 months of the
season. That's his job, though, isn't it? To score goals. You can't say that. He's on. It's not his fault. He scored. Like, he has had chances to score as well. So
he's only played 300 minutes in the Premier League.
I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not. I think the point Brady's making is he isn't ready to lead the line for Chelsea today. And if he was available the next game,
I don't agree with that at all.
How can you disagree with that? How can you?
I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough from
next season or the season after that, maybe.
I haven't seen enough from Delap to write him off as can't lead the line for Chelsea. I think when we signed him this summer, we thought that he could lead the line for us. And I've only seen him play basically 3.5 90s in the Premier League. I mean, that's just, I'm not definitively ready to say anything. I know everyone likes to overreact to everything. He's a 22-year-old striker coming from a completely different system where Ipswich played 10 behind the ball, lump up to Delap. He's played 3.5 90s in the Premier League, and now he can't. He definitively can't lead the line. I mean, sorry,
I don't think he can lead the line.
How I operate in terms of analysis.
I don't think he can lead the line this season. Maybe next season he might be good for sure.
No, I don't agree with that. In fact, obviously, it's really unfortunate that he's probably going to miss 4 to 6 weeks again now with this.
And they're scoring a goal every time he's throwing a goal. He puts it in row Z.
I would give him a chance to settle at this club.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to settle.
That's how everyone operates.
We can't, because Jackson, whether we like him a lot, Jackson did score a lot of goals last season and the season before that. We don't have time for him to score none and go, well, he's learning. That isn't going to wash.
Craig, I'm sorry, we don't have time for the eye test and Liam Delap to get 6 league goals. Oh, it's all right. He'll be good in 3 years. We can't do that.
That's not what's happening. I would like him to play a few more games before I write him off. You really think
if Maresca comes 7th this year, he's going to get sacked?
Maresca won't be. We won't be finishing 7th. We won't come 7th.
Well, okay, but if Delap gets 3 goals, then we might, right?
It depends if he keeps getting injured. If he doesn't play, then yeah. I'm not going to write him off for that.
Well, I just don't. You can't answer. I just don't think he looks any different from Guiu, and I think they're both okay talents. And I think they're both young and they can get better.
I think Guiu looks quite poor.
I think you have. My argument is you have one or the other. You let one of them go, probably Guiu, right? And because of Delap's, market value, and then you get I'm not going to say proper 9, but someone who's just a bit more experienced, 25, 26, been around the block a bit, has some chops. And look, it can go wrong. Like, yeah, Gokares doesn't look great, Šeško doesn't look great, but. And look, it doesn't mean it's going to work, but I don't think being another
doesn't look great either.
I don't think having 2 20-year-olds at 9 is a good idea. No, I don't think that's a good idea because it's different from wing. Because wing, you've got 4 of them because they can share responsibilities. If both of your 9s are 20 years old, and both of them are struggling, you've got a massive problem in your football team. So 9 is different. You need a deputy and the name guy, and they need Alvarez. From Atletico, I'll be all over that because he looks really good and he was really good for City and he's got some chops. He's got a lot of Champions League experience. I'll get him, or we won't get him. But what's his name? Martinez from Inter Milan. We've been linked with him for years. Someone like that, someone who's actually just got some chops.
We've completely missed the boat on Martinez, right?
No, we have, but that kind of. And the thing is, they always appear every summer. It won't happen now. Bit in March, April, when a lot of the players are around the league are racking up goals. There'll be market opportunities, and I think Chelsea should look at 9 in the summer. I really do.
Yeah, I think they will look at 9 in the summer, but in terms of this season, I certainly haven't written Delap off as can't lead the line for Chelsea.
He might be able to lead the line. Can he get goals and assists, which is really what he's in the team for?
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with. It's hard to disagree with what Brady said. It is really hard to disagree. I think if he ends the goal with 3 goals, ends the season with 3 goals, that is going to be very embarrassing for us.
If you look at the squad composition, it's very, very strong. Other than 9, I mean, the issue we have is João Pedro was never bought as a 9, and he just turned into like R9 in the World Cup for some reason. He looked absolutely unbelievable. I don't know if he just. had some like energy from the beach. I don't know. He just had some energy because he was playing Brazilian
You're
teams.
playing like your average teams, right? Like
Yeah,
the
he
Premier
looked
is like
no,
incredibly tough.
some of the goals he was scoring. It doesn't matter playing an average team. I mean, he scored some incredible goals. Let's be honest.
I mean, you'd rather play Benfica away than Leeds away. I mean,
yeah, but okay, Craig. You can't say he didn't score. He scored a goal against PSG. We chipped it over him. I mean, what a goal!
Yeah, the finishes and the movement, all that stuff.
Yeah, he looks incredible. So I think the board went, all right, he'll do it 9. So the 9 problem is covered. But now it's like, oh, hang on, he's not really a 9 actually. He's more of a 10. So we've got a problem at 9 now. So now we haven't really got a good 9. So they need to go heavy. João Pedro has created a bit of a problem for them because they thought, well, João Pedro's a 9 now. Maresca's saying, no, he's not a 9. So we need it's blatant. I don't see you don't see it. It's blatant. We need a 9 in the summer because we don't really have a good one. I
wasn't talking about the summer. Sorry, I was literally just talking about Delap this season being written off.
Yeah, I haven't written off. Let's say Delap improves. He'll get 9 goals, I think, if that.
The pushback from me was when you said Delap has shown that he clearly can't lead the line for Chelsea this season, and I
don't think Delap is anywhere much better than Guiu, and Guiu is a sub option.
Well, we'll get to see a lot of Mark Guiu coming up in the next few weeks, and
if he scores no goals, Guiu, he'll be doing exactly the same job.
What's the best moment from those 9s this year? I think it was that Burnley assist. I think that was brilliant. That might have been.
I haven't seen Delap really play. I've seen him play 3 90s broken up in the Premier League.
That's
why. Yeah, but he's played a lot last season. You know what you're getting with him. He should be scoring a few more. He should at least have 2 goals.
Every time the ball goes over, he's looking to barge someone, slap him, rather than hold it up and look up and do some. He's just looking for a scrap, and that's not. It's because he's trying to prove himself, and because he's trying to prove himself at Chelsea. That is not what we need. We need someone measured up there who's a good build up.
I actually completely disagree with that as well. I think last season we were crying out for like some more physicality at 9. And I mean, it hasn't come to fruition, but I think the profile.
I'm not going to say that we missed Jackson, but we missed Jackson's goals. I mean, you can say Jackson was not that great. And look, I don't think Nick Jackson long term was that great, but he was our top goal scorer. He got 14 okay, he got 3 against 9 men Tottenham, whatever. You can put whatever caveats you want. He got 15 in the league against Poch season, 11 12 last year. It's quite a lot. We need to replace that. And at the moment, at 9, we have 0 goals.
It's not like Delap's like missing like
How many goals do we have at 9? Okay, João Pedro's at 9.
He's missed 1 or 2 decent
chances. He hasn't. His non-penalty XG is 0.23. He hasn't missed Delap. He hasn't missed any good chances.
Well, to be fair, there's a few where he took him way too early. I mean, that Burnley one where he shot from.
You're chatting about someone over like the tiniest sample ever, and making massive sweeping statements.
I think you're getting confused. I think you're getting confused between. We've got if say he's fit right now.
The main frustration with Liam Delap is he's been injured for 2 months, and he's going to be injured again for 6 months.
Like the next game is Everton at home in the Premier League, right?
Yeah,
and then we've got Newcastle. Like, I just don't see him going and getting 3 goals within maybe the next 4 games, even if he was fit. And that's the bit I think you're missing. It's like, well, he might be good if he gets loads more games. It's like, but the games are running out for him, and he might come good towards the end of the season, but that might be too late.
By the way, Maresca, look at Maresca, with tossing. He does a mistake, he's out of the squad. Now, it's not different with Delap. He won't just give Delap 10 games to settle. If Delap's not scoring, he'll drop him. I think
the idea was to rotate Delap and Pedro with the
you don't get 10 games up top if you're not scoring. Delap's got to just start scoring. Or they'll just go, right, we'll get a 9 in the summer. And then he's a backup. Anyway, I've said my point, but I am worried about 9. I think we're very, very raw there.
Okay, well, look, we've got some warming ups to talk about as well. The other freezer I had was kind of the attack generally, which we've kind of talked about. But I think we're seeing some fairly average performances. We kind of need people to step up, which is consistent with who they've bought, really. Warming up, Palmer, Gusto. Palmer. What do you think of Palmer?
I mean, obviously just excited to have Palmer back. I think he got on the ball a lot, especially to start the second half yesterday. Obviously, look, the team weren't great yesterday, but I think just exciting to have him back and getting settled, getting some minutes under his belt. A little bit like Delap. I'm not expecting him to come back from injury and be firing on all cylinders straight away, but we've seen the quality at least.
Comparing Delap to elite player.
No, but just in the same way that I wouldn't expect Palmer's obviously played 2 games now, hasn't scored, but doesn't mean that I've written him off going
He's
forward.
missed a few good chances this season, Palmer. I think
Yeah, Palmer's actually missed a lot of decent chances so far. Yeah, but yeah, obviously we know Cole Palmer's quality, and just exciting to have him back.
Yeah, I mean, you need, just really quickly, when Cole gets firing, I think that's our one final hope for a very, very slim title charge or really challenging second to third in the league. If Cole comes back and ticks over and, fires, and Caicedo's fit a lot, then you've got a good chance of having a really good football team. But yeah, it might take Cole some time to get up and running. I won't see. But if he hits the ground running, we could still have a very good second half of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, as much as, the easier games will come for us, and I think we'll get some good wins, and that will help a lot. So got to keep doing well at home, I think. And good to see Palmer back, and hopefully he can get a few goals.
I actually think, as well, obviously you talking about the easier games. I think we played quite well in the tougher games. In fact, probably our best performances have come in the games: Liverpool at home, Arsenal at home, Barcelona at home. Those are the tougher games that we've played.
I'm more worried about the away games.
It's
That's
the
big
medium
issue,
games. We seem to be. We obviously beat Wolves, everyone's beating Wolves, obviously. But it's the medium games. It's like your Palace.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like your Bournemouth, teams where you're those games are the problem. I don't think Wolves away will have a problem. Might do, or Burnley at home in the second half of the season. But it's more like, I don't know, Palace away, or I don't know.
But those are the majority of the games.
I agree. And that's the meat of the season. Even when we go to the Etihad, you think, okay, obviously we can get beat quite easily, but it's you wouldn't be surprised if we put up a really good performance and done them 2-1. And Atalanta in the week.
I think a massive game for us to judge this season will be Newcastle away on the 20th, and I'm not just talking about the result. Obviously, a 12:30 kickoff at St James's. I'm talking about how we perform in the game. Obviously, quite easy to lose that game, but I'm more interested in seeing how we perform, because we've rolled over there over the last 5 years.
Actually, one that I'm very interested at is Fulham. Fulham away. You've got City away, and then you've got Fulham away 3 days later. So it's those games. Bournemouth at home, Villa at home. It's these games in this period where we'll see if we're going to really kick on this season.
Yeah, I mean, between 6th and 14th, we've played 8 games and we've won 2 of them. So that's poor. I like Gusto as well, warming up. I think he's actually been decent. He does slide a lot, which I think he always puts him on the risk register for yellows, reds, etc. But he's actually been timing that really well. I have to say, he's been fairly hard to get past for the most part. Obviously, he was at fault a little bit for the Arsenal goal, although he was outnumbered at the back post with Madueke and Marino. But I think when he's been asked to do a defensive job, I think he's been fairly solid for us, which was always a risk last season, but I think he's improved, and obviously he's part of a fairly decent defence this season. When
his passing's actually been not horrendous as well this season. I think he's 87th percentile pass attempted and 85th percentile pass completion. It's not so bad for a player that I think is quite a bad passer.
Yeah, I do think he has this sort of gene that seems to go around some of these guys, which is the complacency gene. But he does seem a little bit more on it this season. It looks like he's up for a fight. Height-wise is always a struggle for him, and pace-wise. But yeah, I've been quite impressed with him. Another good performance. He had the most tackles in the game yesterday for us. He does get his foot in, and he's been quite accurate. So yeah, I think he's been decent last couple of games, actually. Happy with having him there, although I don't like him starting generally. I think he's a good rotation piece for us. For that position, probably in the Champions League and stuff. Boiling hot, we've got Caicedo and Sanchez. Caicedo hasn't been playing. Brady, do you want to explain this one?
Well, I was actually going to put Rob Sanchez in warming up. That's why, but I think he just really quickly before we want to talk about Sanchez, I think it just shows how key Caicedo is. When you take him out of the team, things fall apart a little bit in the midfield. Let's be honest. I think if Caicedo was fit or available, for Leeds and this game, I think you can expect us to get more points, and it's clear that when he's in the team, we are a much better team. And you have to realise that Lavia's out as well. we struggle when we haven't got these guys there a little bit. So a lot. So it just shows how integral he is to the team. I think Caicedo clearly, because without Palmer, the team has still scored a good amount of goals. Without Caicedo in there, it's tough. It's just really tough, and we just need it. And that's why I'm quite confident about Tuesday, actually, because Caicedo's back.
And he's well rested.
Yeah.
He has been a huge miss for us in midfield. We don't seem to know the answer without him, really. Like I say, I think relying on people like Lavia is a wasted breath. And I'm glad they kind of kept more people back this year. Obviously, they let Ugochukwu and Santos go last year, and we had Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia, which was really poor squad planning for midfield. So they kept more back. They were quite unlucky with Asugo getting injured. But we do have bodies there, so it's not as if we're out of players. But the quality.
James is obviously playing midfield in a lot of games as well this season.
Yeah, and that's been helpful. But obviously, then we haven't got the right back, so there's a little bit. He's been decent as well.
I think the issue is like to be fair to Fernandez is playing a lot of games. Like he is flogged a bit, Fernandez. I'm not, because I don't know if he was that great. He wasn't that great yesterday, but he's playing. When there's a lot of players are getting rotated, he plays every game. Fernandez.
Yeah, I feel like he gets no credit for that as well.
I agree. It's like his form will dip. He's very fit for the through the season. You can tell he gets more like defined and stacked. Like you can tell his fitness builds up during the season, and obviously he's just since won the World Cup, he's just been playing non-stop football basically. But there'll be a time when I think Fernandez will need I can't rely on Lavia, but maybe you play Lavia Caicedo. I mean, rest Enzo for a few games or whatever. Like,
or
James
might get a rest on Tuesday. Actually, that might
like James and Caicedo or whatever. Like,
because Caicedo can't play Everton.
Yeah. So Caicedo and whatever. Just rest Fernandez. I'll agree. Like, I think resting Fernandez on Tuesday would be a good idea. I'm sure he will, but I think he should because. Yeah, if he got injured as well, we'd be in trouble, big trouble.
Yes,
let's talk about Sanchez quickly as well.
Yeah.
Just fantastic performances recently. Since that Sunderland game that we lost, I mean, he's been brilliant in basically every game. Obviously, the Leeds game on Wednesday, he conceded 3, but nothing he could do about any of those goals. The Tanaka goal was just unbelievable. Usually, you would criticise a keeper for letting a goal in from 25 yards, but I mean that was unstoppable. That was an unbelievable goal.
Took it really quickly as well.
Yeah, the header from the corner, can't do anything about, and then Tosin just absolutely stitched him up for the third. So I mean, he's been almost flawless, and obviously made some cracking saves yesterday from Semenyo in the game. And yeah, they just thought overall need to call. We were very quick to call Robert Sanchez. Or I was very quick, especially to call Robert Sanchez out last season. So I want to mention his form and just the fact that he's one of the more valuable keepers in the Prem right now. To be honest.
Yeah, another good performance in the sticks for him.
I think he's quite easily the most improved player from last season. Last year, he got 10 clean sheets. 31% clean sheet percentage. He's got 8 already this year, tied with Raya, 53% clean sheet percentage. So he's almost doubled his clean sheet percentage. Incredible.
And obviously that's a team.
But by the way, one of my favourite moments of the season, that Tanaka goal, if you watch afterwards, he was beating the floor, Sanchez, because he thought he could have got it. He was like, I think there's something, he was annoyed that it was a goal.
But I think he's annoyed they gave the ball away.
I think he was also thinking, if I stepped that way, maybe I could have got a finger to it. And that shows the levels that he's at, yeah. Like, yesterday, I mean, none of the saves he made were well, but there was a really good save yesterday where he palmed it, and he could have easily palmed it to Semenyo, but he palmed it away. It's really intelligent goalkeeping. And, all this Mangian rubbish, just don't play. All these, idiots on Twitter, you don't need another goalkeeper, man. Just look at, please, just fans, look at what you're seeing. Like, you're not going to get a better goalkeeper than this on the market. Like, he can make mistakes, and maybe when he starts to make some mistakes, maybe it can snowball, and he kind of gets into that rhythm again. But at the moment, if we bought him, if he didn't have the stigma of last year, you'd be like one of the players of the season. Because he's got that stigma, we're always thinking, is he going to be bad again? He's performing incredibly well. If you take this season as context.
Yeah, he's As I said, it's really hard to replace him because you need someone as good, and he's obviously performing at a really high level, but there are obviously deficiencies still in his game. And I think he's been lucky as well. Definitely, he makes mistakes in every game, but he hasn't been punished, so people will just look favourably on it.
I think a lot of goalkeepers are like that.
But that's what I mean. But everyone was criticising last year because
of
that, because it just led to a goal.
It's true.
Whereas the same mistakes this season haven't led to a goal, so it doesn't look as bad. So I just don't get that. So yeah, he's no different. He's no different. But I'm glad to see him get applauded.
When Alisson comes back, that'll stabilise Liverpool. I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just sometimes if the teams he's just digging out points for us. I think he's probably already won us like 4 or 5 points this year. Like he won us the 2 points yesterday probably. So
I think the thing about goalkeepers is, I said this to someone else, I said, no one ever thinks the best goalkeeper plays in one of the worst teams, when that isn't true at all.
Yeah.
Like last season, people think, oh, Martinez is off it for Villa. Now this season he looks quite good. It's like, well, that's because Villa got some of their players back a little bit better. Like it's just, you're almost as good as the people in front of you. Like Donnarumma is a good goalkeeper, but doesn't look as good sometimes because City don't have Rodri defending them in front of the defence, and they're conceding a lot of chances and goals. It's impossible to be a good goalkeeper in a poor team that concedes loads of shots and chances. You're just always going to concede goals.
What do you think? Do you think he's the most improved player from last season? What do you think? I think so.
I'm trying to think about who else
really
would
much,
be in that conversation. I think Neto's in the mix for that.
Yeah, Neto.
No, but maybe Neto was good. Like maybe.
I think Reece James in midfield is in the shout for that as well. I think of his time last year at Sanchez. He was getting pelters every time he touched the ball. The crowd were on him. Like it's night and day, really, when you think about it.
I'm still nervous.
Yeah, but
the nerves are much less.
You're always nervous, like because there's risk. I think every team.
He still takes way too long though. Like even that Leeds game, he brings problems by delaying stuff too much. He's taking too much time. He needs to be quicker. Like who was it? Calvert-Lewin almost blocked him in the first.
He's doing that because he's looking for an option. By the way,
yeah, but you have to be quicker. Like if when Calvert-Lewin gets close to him, it just riles the crowd up.
The thing is
that kind of thing. Right. We're gonna end it there, and we're gonna go quickly around the grounds. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Start the music, please. Right. Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1.
Yeah, Villa 5 wins in a row. They've hit some form at the right time. And that game was absolutely amazing to watch. A fantastic Premier League game.
Arsenal have a little bit of a wobble. I mean, absolute scenes at the end there, and City 2 points behind Arsenal now, heating up. Yeah,
lovely goal at the end. Great game, as Craig said. I think reminds me of, is it like the Conte season where Villa just win loads of games in a row and start challenging for league? Who knows? But we'll see. Everton 3, Nottingham Forest 0.
Dear. Dice ball back at Everton.
I mean, Kieran Dewsbury Hall firing out there. It's 4th versus 5th next week at the Bridge. It's going to be massive.
Yeah, another Kieran Dewsbury Hall masterclass. I think people were quick to write him off at Chelsea, but very talented player.
Benched him in FPL again, 16 points. Absolute nightmare.
Nightmare.
I mean, he was absolutely horrific for us. Dewsbury Hall.
He was playing
in the Conference League games. I mean, he looked hopeless in those.
Yeah, looks pretty good now. Man City 3, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, brilliant win for City, but obviously fairly routine, straightforward.
Well, we didn't beat Sunderland.
I was going to say, yeah, we did beat
routine. I mean, we made our work of it. Shirky warming up. I think, Craig, you were writing him off, but Shirky looked pretty tasty yesterday.
No point wrote Shirky off.
I love that Shirky is before Pep turns him into a robot. He's showing a bit of flair. I mean, that was a bit Hazard vibes with a number 10 as well. I might actually get the City number 10 shirt to cheer on, just to annoy Arsenal.
And that's disgraceful.
I think Pep said after the game, you hate him or you love him. A Shirky.
Really? I mean,
not many people are going to hate him. Are they?
I mean, he's
not a pet
box
player.
office entertainment jerky. He's very, very impressive.
He's not a pet player whatsoever, but I mean, what a player, yeah. But I mean, Foden, 5 goals in 3 games. I did say that, if City are going to make a run, you're going to need the supporting cast to help Haaland. And Haaland didn't score yesterday and they won 3-0. So if that starts happening, Arsenal might be in problems.
Yeah, Haaland had Cherky almost got another amazing assist. Haaland missed one.
Yeah.
I had Haaland to score yesterday. That's why I didn't score. Newcastle 2, Burnley 1.
Yeah, I mean, again, another pretty straightforward win, I think. I know Chris said that Burnley had a chance at the end there, but I think from what I was hearing on the radio, it seems to be pretty routine for most of that game.
We need to buy this Fleming guy. He's always scoring, mainly pens for Burnley. But is he any good at 9? I'm looking for a 9. Any 9s about? Yeah, I mean, Newcastle fairly strong at home. This is always going to be literal home banker, but yeah, they don't feel as strong even at home as they have before. So I hope when we go up there, we've got a bit of a chance.
Yeah, this was Newcastle having a go at Burnley for about 85 minutes, and then as soon as they conceded, all could have gone wrong at them in the end. But yeah, very impressive Newcastle for the most part. Tottenham 2, Brentford 0.
It was a must win for Frank at home to Brentford yesterday. They absolutely had to win. If they lost yesterday, Thomas Frank would have come under a lot of pressure. Obviously, embarrassing to lose to the understudy as well when Brentford came in, but they were really good Spurs yesterday and they comfortably won.
Gabby Simmons warming up. If you saw his goal, pretty good.
Yeah, very impressive.
A good goal. Yeah, I mean, Thiago had a couple of chances for Brentford as well, and I've got my him. It was fine margins that game. I don't, Yeah, it was Spurs still a bit ropey. You wouldn't really back them in any game, but yeah, big win for them.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games where the team that scored first were probably going to go on and get some points out of the game. So yeah, Tottenham got it, and we got another one quite quickly, and that was the end of that. Leeds 3, Liverpool 3.
Another absolutely brilliant game. We were treated to two fantastic Prem games in the TV games yesterday. I mean, this was just unbelievable game of football. And yeah, what a celebration for, I'm sure, everyone that was watching, apart from Liverpool fans, for that last minute equaliser. Yeah,
I mean, I was saying it halfway through the game. Leeds got 0.2 XG versus what are we doing? But I think we knackered them out, and then they turned up the last 30 minutes. I mean, that Konate challenge. I mean, what is he up to, Konate? I mean, it's moments like that.
He's having a stinker of a season, Konate.
If he just holds out, Liverpool just win that game, because they can just hold out another 10 minutes and then they're all right. Just talk about shooting themselves in the foot, and we're not going to talk about Mo Salah. So yeah, Liverpool looking ropey. Yeah,
all the talk after the game, unfortunately, isn't anything about the game. But yeah, this was a great one, and like I say, Konate, just full of mistakes, that guy, but he still gets selected. I wonder whose fault that is. Right, and that concludes Around the Grounds. There are 3 more games to be played, 2 of them today, and we'll see how Brighton, Palace, Fulham. That's a big game for us, Fulham, Palace, and then United got Wolves. We don't really want United winning either. Yeah. Tough in the middle, isn't it? We're kind of just at the beginning, the kind of top end of that pack. We've got to hopefully stay there. Right, last knockings, quick predictions for Atalanta and Everton. What have you got for me?
Atalanta, I think, will win on Tuesday night. I think Caicedo back gets us over the line. Might be scrappy, and then I'm expecting a big home performance against Everton next Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. I'm going 3-1 Chelsea against Everton.
Wow. Who's scoring, Greg, quickly?
Cole Palmer to score.
That's it.
I'll go 1-1 Atalanta, and I think we'll just edge it Everton out 1-2-0 or something.
Yeah, I think Atalanta away, I think we might just have enough for them. I think 2-1. Everton at home, I just got a feeling it might be a draw. Just one of those games that might be 1-0 for a long period, and they might get one at the end. But let's see. Hopefully we can keep a clean sheet in that one. It'll be good. Depends if we've got the first teamers out for that, or if it's the Tosin show again. Right. Thank you very much, guys. That's all we've got time for today.
No worries.
Cool. Look, regardless of the result, we will be back and we'll talk about Atalanta and Everton this week. So for more updates on all things CSCR, you can follow us on X at EatSleepChelsea and Instagram at EatSleepChelsea Repeat. As always, we hope you're carefree wherever you may be. Thanks for listening.